On a sun-scorched mountain, hundreds of prophets gathered, their voices echoing as they cried out desperately to their God, pleading for a sign, a miracle, anything to break the silence of the heavens. Yet despite their fervor, only one prayer would pierce the sky and bring down fire from heaven, a moment that would leave everyone in awe. For 3 relentless years, Israel suffered under a merciless drought. No rain fell, crops withered to dust, and rivers dried to cracked earth. Hunger and thirst haunted every village, and hope faded with each cloudless day. King Ahab, convinced that Baal, the so-called storm god, would send rain, looked up at the empty sky day after day, but found only endless blue and disappointment. In the midst of this despair, Elijah, the prophet of the Lord, boldly confronted Ahab. He issued a daring challenge: "Gather all Israel and summon the prophets of Baal to Mount Carmel. Let's settle this once and for all." The people, weary and divided, climbed the rugged mountain, torn between their old beliefs in Baal and the fading memory of the Lord's power. Elijah stood alone, facing hundreds of hostile prophets and a nation watching. Yet his faith did not waver. He stood firm, trusting in the God he served. Raising his voice, Elijah challenged the people. "How long will you waver between 2 opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is, then follow him." His words cut through the tension like a blade. The crowd stood silent, eyes darting, uncertain and afraid to choose, the weight of their indecision heavy in the air. Elijah then proposed a dramatic test: 2 altars, 2 sacrifices, but no fire. The true God would answer with fire from heaven. "You call on Baal, and I will call on the Lord," Elijah declared. "The God who answers by fire, he is the one true God." The challenge was set. The entire nation watched, breathless and anxious, knowing that everything they believed was about to be tested. Would Baal finally answer, or would the Lord reveal his unmatched power before all of Israel? The stage was set for a dramatic showdown, a moment that would echo through history and change the hearts of a nation forever. The prophets of Baal gathered in a flurry of color and anticipation, preparing their altar with great ceremony and hope. From the first light of morning until the sun reached its peak, they called on their God with unwavering voices, refusing to give up. "O Baal, answer us!" they cried, their desperate pleas echoing across the mountain, filling the air with urgency and longing. But the sky remained silent. No fire, no voice, not even a whisper in the wind. Their God did not respond. Elijah watched and mocked them, saying, "Shout louder! Maybe your God is deep in thought, busy or perhaps sleeping and must be awakened." Driven by desperation, the prophets danced wildly, shouted even louder, and made frantic gestures, hoping to stir their God to action. Blood and sweat mixed in the dust as they cut themselves with swords and spears, their faces streaked with pain and exhaustion. Hours dragged by. The altar remained cold, the sacrifice untouched, as the sun moved slowly across the sky. The crowd watched in uneasy silence, their hope fading, doubt growing in their eyes with every passing moment. At last, the prophets' frenzy faded, leaving them collapsed and exhausted by the altar. Baal did not answer. The people saw the futility of empty rituals, realizing that all their efforts had been in vain. The mountain was quiet, the air heavy with disappointment and the weight of unanswered prayers. Hundreds had tried, pouring out their strength and hope, but their God was powerless to respond. Now, as the dust settled and silence fell, all eyes turned to Elijah. Would the Lord answer where Baal had failed? Elijah stepped forward, his presence commanding attention as he called the people to draw near. The crowd, filled with anticipation and uncertainty, gathered around him, eager to witness what would unfold. With careful hands, Elijah rebuilt the Lord's ruined altar, selecting 12 stones, each one representing a tribe of Israel. This act was more than just construction. It was a powerful symbol of unity, restoration, and a call to return to their shared faith. Elijah arranged the wood with precision, prepared the sacrifice, and dug a deep trench around the altar. Every step was deliberate, each movement watched closely by the people. Then, in a dramatic gesture, he ordered water to be poured over the offering, not once, but 3 times, until the altar, the wood, and the sacrifice were completely drenched. Water streamed down, filling the trench and soaking everything. In a land parched by drought, where every drop was precious, this was a bold and almost shocking act of faith. The people watched in awe, their eyes wide with amazement and curiosity. Elijah made it utterly impossible for fire to catch by any human means. The wood was soaked, the sacrifice drenched and the trench overflowing. If fire were to come now, it could only be by a miracle, something only God could do. The altar stood utterly soaked, water glistening in the sun. The crowd fell silent, holding their breath in anticipation, hearts pounding with suspense. In that moment, Elijah had rebuilt more than just stones. He was rebuilding hope, trust, and faith in the hearts of the people. The moment of truth had arrived. Would God answer with fire from heaven? The entire nation waited, breathless, on the edge of a miracle. As the sun set, Elijah approached the drenched altar. No shouting, no spectacle, just a simple prayer. Lord, let it be known today that you are God in Israel, and I am your servant. Answer me so these people will know you, Lord, and turn their hearts back. 63 words, humble, direct, full of faith. Elijah asked for God's glory, not his own. The mountain was still. Everyone waited. No tricks, no drama, just trust in God. The fate of a nation hung on this quiet moment. Would the Lord answer? The people held their breath. The silence was electric. Then, heaven responded. Suddenly, fire fell from heaven, blazing, unstoppable. It consumed the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, even the water in the trench. Nothing remained but scorched earth, a miracle undeniable. The people fell face down, overwhelmed by awe and fear. They cried out together, "The Lord, He is God! The Lord, He is God!" Doubt vanished. Faith was reborn. The contest was over. Baal was silent, but the Lord answered with power. Elijah's faith was vindicated. On Mount Carmel, a nation witnessed the living God. The hearts of the people turned back, if only for a moment. The God who answers by fire had spoken.